All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the most, I wouldn't say overrated, I wouldn't say overused, but it is a very useful technique that everybody does incorrectly. And I'm not speaking for everybody. I used to throw it incorrectly. It was because we were taught a way that was, I guess, old school. There's certain old school techniques that work, and there's certain old school techniques that aren't really needed. Like, for instance, we're going to be learning how to throw a lead hook. A lead hook is something that everybody and their mama be trying to land in a fight. Whether, if you know what it is or not, you always swinging that arm out, trying to get them hooks in because y'all think that's the most powerful way to hurt somebody. Surprisingly enough, in certain circumstances, a straight shot will be more powerful than a looping punch. But that's the issue here. A hook is not a looping punch. Looping punches are not real strikes. They are something that you do in a stressful situation and you don't know how to actually tap into the things you know because you don't know. And this is why I'm here. Because whether or not you're in a gym or not, I'm going to be here to share that knowledge for you all. Because at the end of the day, I didn't know it, and now I do. So knowledge should be shared throughout everybody. Everybody should, have knowledge for free. I mean, not everything got to cost money, So what we're going to do is, I'm going to get in my southpaw stance, because I see a lot of people in southpaw stances, and we're going to just throw the hook that I see most people throw. And what people love to do when they throw a hook, they love putting everything into it. Everything. But the intention's there. But there are a couple flaws, and most of them are defensive. Yes, you could generate a lot of power by looping your punch. But at the end of the day, I can't see. I don't know where my punch is going to land. And I'm putting too much stress on my shoulder to actually be able to do this for long periods of time without wear and tear on my joint and on the muscles and ligaments. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to be more energy efficient with this power delivery and this weight shift. So it starts on the feet, like everything does. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys the subtle way to make a hook powerful but very defensively responsible and quick. So speed is one of the many reasons to create power, because mass times velocity equals force. So you're turning your weight into a shot instead of looping. So what we want to do is we want to get used to shifting our weight from the front and the back leg. Just bending your knees a little bit. You don't got to worry about squatting all the way down here. People think that's something to do. Like, you watch Mike Tyson, you think that's what he does. That's not what he does. That's really not what he's doing. So let's just focus on learning the fundamentals before we try to embody anybody else. So let's just start off here. You shift your weight. You want the hook to kind of be like a surprise, because no matter which angle you add, you can throw the hook, but you just want to get used to that flow. You want to stay relaxed, because this is a lead hook. This should excuse me for that burp. This is a lead punch. So what you want to do is you want to get used to shifting that weight, and you want to just turn the shot. I'm not even throwing a hook. I'm just letting my shoulder move with my body. And what that is teaching me is that winding up is not creating the power. It's me bringing my weight back. And eventually, I can actually turn it into a real punch. And even though it doesn't look any different than what I was doing earlier, like just swinging my shoulder versus actually punching, is the fact that it doesn't require that much effort once your body's already turned. By that time, the punch has already been executed. So you don't want to wind up after you did that, because you're already taking away the power you generated and you're spreading it out too far. So by the time it lands, it already gets dispersed throughout the rest of your body and not into your target. So you want to keep your elbow at a 90-degree angle. You want to raise it up just a little bit to cover your face. I know my phone's a little low, but like, let's say it look like this. This is what you want your punch to look like when you throw it. And you just let your body put all the weight into your target. So we're gonna do this again. Another thing that most boxing coaches teach, especially when I was training back when I was 13, a lot of boxers, they turn their foot into the shot. And I'm not gonna say that it is a useless technique, because it is far from useless. Because at the end of the day, you gotta throw a check hook, you're gonna need to learn how to pivot off that foot. But when it comes to actually throwing a punch from a stationary stance, or if you're moving on an angle, you wanna keep your leg kind of like, you want that to be the primary mover. You pivoting off the foot is throwing your hip too far, and it's actually taken away from where the punch actually can go if you're throwing a regular hook. It's different if it's a counter hook, because you see, as I'm stepping out, I'm moving at an angle, so depending on if my target is rushing me, or if they think that they're gonna come in with another shot, I have something to come over theirs. So there's always a return. There's a second shot. So I could be like, hook, hook. Like, that's not something that you see a lot, but when you train yourself to understand positioning and where to be at the right moment, you'll be able to set these things up, and it's not even something you have to tell yourself. But right now, we're just focusing on one technique, which is throwing a hook, but you want to use your feet to help assist your hip in propelling your weight to the side. So instead of, you want to just turn it like that. And a way to generate power is you squat down a little bit, you lean to that side, and then you bring it up. Just like that. And even for orthodox, because that is where I naturally stand on the spectrum of fighting. If you want your left hook to be money, all right, like, share, follow for more.